Hi there, my name is Henry Tenby. In this video, I'm going to take you back to March of 1968, and we're going to have a look at the plane spotting at Lima Peru International Airport. As some of you know, I acquire vintage aircraft slide collections. So if you have an aircraft slide collection that you'd like to sell or donate, please don't hesitate to contact me at the email address provided below. And these particular slides came from one such collection. So only through acquiring slide collections that would never see the light of day are we able to present interesting lookbacks like this one. I hope you enjoy our journey back to March of '68. Our show starts with this very interesting Canadian aircraft. It's a PBY Catalina operated by the government of Quebec, CFPQL, seen March the 28th, 1968. All of these images were actually taken on March the 28th of 68. Look at the fabulous Connies, short body L049 Connies in the background. Rutas International and Peru International. Back in the 60s, a lot of old propeller airplanes from the United States were imported for secondary use by startup operators down there. These airlines didn't last too long, but nice to see these Connies in the background. And in the far distance is an Air France Boeing 707. I'm guessing that the Catalina was down in Peru on a water bombing firefighting contract of the day. The government of Quebec sent down two Cansos or Catalinas on this particular occasion. Here we have CFPQP, which was there at Lima that very same day. We have a Trans-Peruanas Lockheed 049 Connie taken in Lima that day, OBR 917. The aircraft appears to be operational, so I'm going to speculate that the airline was in business at the time the photo was taken, but I have found images from the 1970s which show the aircraft very clearly withdrawn from use, so this was probably a short-lived operation. Not the highest of quality in terms of images, this is a rare shot of Rutas International L049 Connie, OBR 833, seen on the Lima ramp. This company would have been, it appears to be active, the aircraft. So like the other Connie operators, these airlines were typically just operational for a few years. This is quite an interesting aircraft. It's a 1943 built B-26, German registered, CADU. Apparently, this was one of three B-26s that were owned and operated by a gentleman named Walter Rowell. In the early 1960s, his company was engaged in photo reconnaissance and survey work, and I'm going to guess that he took the airplane down to Peru at some point in the mid-1960s, and for whatever reason decided not to bring it back to Germany, and the airplane was just left to rot, I guess, on the ramp there at Lima Airport. I don't think the airplane flew again, but as you can see, it appears to be semi-airworthy at the time. This picture was taken in March of '68. Seems that Uncle Sam had a fairly decent presence at Lima Airport back in March of '68. This is a U.S. Navy HU-16 Albatross. Registration or serial number is 141280. I guess that's, the bureau number. The aircraft appears to be in a hangar undergoing some form of maintenance. And here's another U.S. Navy HU-16 that was also present at Lima that day, 137910. On the front of the aircraft, it does give us some insight as to what was going on. There is an inscription on the front of the airplane that says U.S. Naval Mission to Peru. So I guess there was some kind of training that was taking place by the U.S. Navy, I guess off the coast of Peru, that involved the use of these aircraft. And here we have the latest and greatest of 1968, a new Boeing Tri-Jet 727, operated by Peruvian domestic airline and international regional operator, I guess, of the day. OBR 902, it's viewed being serviced, I guess. It looks like it's being pushed or pulled from the main ramp as viewed from the observation deck. This is a typical observation deck shot from Lima. This observation deck remained open well into the 1970s, and many airplanes were photographed in this exact same position. Here's an absolutely beautiful shot of a Armada Peruanas, or Peruvian Navy, C-47 being ground serviced at Lima, March 68. The serial number or ident is 503. I believe this aircraft remained active into the 1970s. And here we have a U.S. Air Force Charlie 130 Hercules. Serial is 60308. It was based out of Howard Air Force Base in Panama. It was up in Lima. Notice the Connies, lineup of Connies in the background, looking fantastic. Having seen better days, we have a Peruvian Air Force C-45 Expediter, or Beech 18. It is serial number 711 and has definitely seen better days. It's been stripped of its engines, wings, and entire rear stab and tail assembly. I doubt this aircraft ever flew again, and would have probably been scrapped in the years that followed in the late 1960s. I doubt there are many, if any, other photos of this aircraft in existence. And for the general aviation fans, we have quite a rare sight. It is a Cessna Skyhawk. Looks like a new airplane, obviously rare to see with the Peruvian tail markings. It would have been, I think, privately owned, but I'm not sure. The registration is OB Victor 713. And for the helicopter fans, we have a Hughes 269A, registration OB Mike 699. This aircraft also appears to be quite new and was probably, well, as you can see, it's parked by the Beech distributor. So I'm guessing there was a business that sold and marketed aircraft to the general aviation buyers of the day. This is an absolutely fascinating image. Here we have a Stinson OBR 141, which at the time this photo was taken in March of 68, was still being operated by Fawcett Airlines. So, as many of you know, this is an airplane from the 1920s. Apparently, according to research presented by a John Viscajic, this particular airplane was delivered in 1954, and by 1969 it was actually retired and taken over by a private operator. But in 68, it was still operational by and owned by Fawcett Airlines. And apparently, there were 30 of these Stinsons that were used by Fawcett Airlines from the 1940s up until the late 1960s. So yeah, this is a really historic aircraft. Well, this next Stinson is also apparently owned by Fawcett Airlines, taken in the hangar in 68 on that same day. Now, the person that took the slide wrote down the registration OBPBA, Papa Bravo Alpha. I can't find any reference to that particular registration on the internet. It doesn't mean it didn't exist with Fawcett Airlines, but it's hard to say exactly what this aircraft's registration is because it's not visible in the image. So the person who took the picture must have made a note and then wrote on the slide mount from his notes of the day. So it's a bit of a mystery as to what the true ident of this aircraft is. However, it most likely is originally part of that 30 batch acquired and operated by Fawcett. And here we have a United States of America, U.S. Air Force, VIP VC-131 at Lima, spit polished. Who knows, possibly some Air Force bigwig or a government official rode on this aircraft into Lima. This is a hulk of an aircraft. It's a C-46 Hulk being scrapped out, being parted out. Peruvian Air Force, tail number 328, definitely having seen better days. The rudder's been removed, engines, and it most likely will never see flight again as parked here on the dump. This is a Beech Twin Bonanza OBM 517. I really like how they paint the national insignia on the tail. It just looks awesome. And here we have a Cessna 337 Push Me Pull You OBM 703. This aircraft doesn't sport the trademark Peruvian national insignia on the tail. I wish it did. This aircraft does have the Peruvian national insignia on the tail. It just makes the color scheme look so much nicer. I don't know if perhaps government airplanes or certain companies were required to have the national insignia on the tail. It's hard to say, but it sure looks good. We've saved the best for last. This is a Satco DC-4 OBR 704 taken from the observation deck in March 28th, 68. You can see the continuation of the observation deck around the other side of the finger in the background. Satco was formed in 1960, and it was a government-owned airline, I believe mostly a domestic airline. And in 1973, the company changed its name to Lima Peru, but certainly very exotic in the Satco markings. They operated 6 C-46s, 7 DC-4s, C-54s, 2 F-28s, and 2 Lockheed Hercules. So very interesting to see this airplane, and I hope you've really enjoyed the video. Definitely look forward to seeing your comments. If you have additional information to add to my observations, please do let me know in the comments. It'll be a good historical record, and always appreciate the thumbs up. If you can click that thumbs up, if you enjoyed the video, that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Hi there, my name is Henry Tenby, and I'd like to tell you about my brand new book. It's called From Lodestars to Jets, and it's the most image-heavy, comprehensive, it's the most extensive history on Air Canada, Trans-Canada Airlines that has ever been published in the annals of aviation history. The book is absolutely loaded with images that many of which have never been seen before. Let's have a look at the pages, and then you can decide if this book deserves a spot on your bookshelf. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of the book. Isn't that gorgeous? It is printed on 105 GSM paper, so it's super high quality paper. It is absolutely loaded with images. As I say, there are approximately 600 images, just under 300 pages. Many of these images have never been seen before, and the stories that are within these pages, many of them have long been forgotten, and it is information that is absolutely fascinating relating to engineering and fleet planning and fleet development issues at Trans-Canada Airlines. Look at that Viscount wing structure design, feathering system. We've got a section on the Bristol Freighter, some face changes around TCA engineering, and then sections on the Connie. Models make moolah, of course, for you aircraft model fans. Whole sections on the Connie North Star. There we go. Engineering Department, 1950. Fabulous shot taken at, where's this? Cartierville. Absolutely gorgeous. And this will take you back to the good old days of Trans-Canada Airlines. As I say, I believe this is the most comprehensive history on Trans-Canada, Avro jetliner, that's right. Trans-Canada Airlines was instrumental in the development of this aircraft. Of course, up to the jet age, the introduction of service to the DC-8s, and other airplanes that were considered by TCA at the time. This is not the same old Air Canada history that we've seen many times over the decades. This is all brand new information, brand new stories. I've posted a link in the upper right-hand corner of this video that'll take you to the book information and order page. Also, I should point out that time is of the essence. Limited production on these books. Once they're sold out, they're probably sold out forever. And I hope you will enjoy the book as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Thank you very much.